Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a book review and a movie review at the same time, because if you don't know, in the Christian realm right here, Francine Rivers just came out with, well, she had a book, then they made it into a movie. Everybody's talking about. So what am I talking about? Let's start there. Gabriel, shh. This is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. That is the cover. It is 464 pages. I bought it for $10, but it retails for $16 here in the US and $22 in Canada. She has many other books by her, which I'm excited. Of course, many other books by her, obviously. But I'm excited to read them all. So let me read the excerpt from the back and let's talk about it. California's gold country, 1850, a time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep. Angel expects nothing from men but betrayal. Sold into prostitution as a child, she survives by keeping her hatred alive. And what she hates most are the men who use her, leaving her empty and dead inside. Then she meets Michael Hosea, a man who seeks his father's heart in everything. Michael obeys God's call to marry Angel and to love her unconditionally. Slowly, day by day, he defies Angel's every bitter expectation until, despite her resistance, her frozen heart begins to thaw. But with her unexpected softening come overwhelming feelings of unworthiness and fear. And so Angel runs back to the darkness, away from her husband's pursuing love, terrified of the truth she no longer can deny. Her final healing must come from the one who loves her even more than Michael does, the one who will never let her go. A powerful retelling of the story of Gomer and Hosea. Redeeming Love is a life-changing story of God's unconditional, redemptive, and all-consuming love. So, that's what it is. Redeeming Love, that's what it is. It's based off of Gomer and Hosea from the Bible. He was a prophet. God told him to marry a prostitute, Gomer, because their marriage was going to exemplify, or was going to portray God's marriage to Israel, and how Israel kept going back to their idols, it kept going back to their sins, and yet God kept pursuing them. So, because we are the bride of Christ, right? So, anyways, she wrote a book, kind of like a retelling. You know how they have retellings of Disney stories? This was a retelling of that Bible story. It was, so this book I read because we did it as like a women's Bible study in my church. And so we did it that way. This is the only reason why I read this book. I had never heard of Francine Rivers before. If you want to listen online, by the way, on YouTube, I'm going to try to link it if I remember. But on YouTube, there is, I forgot her name, but I'll link it for you guys in the description box down below. She reads the book aloud, so if you don't really read books, but you want to listen to it, you can do it that way as well. That's how I did it. I listened to the whole book. I didn't really actually read this. See, this is like a fictional story based on Hosea, and I loved it and I hated it, and it was super long. I loved that show of love, and I loved just seeing, I mean, this is a woman who went through so much in her life, from the moment that she was born to later on in her life, and nobody actually showed her what like true love really was, right? And so she really didn't know what that really felt like until Hosea showed it to her. And so it was really beautiful to see kind of her mask coming down, and her just, Gabriel, the crunching. Oh. and her walls just coming down as he is showing her love. I don't know, my camera's right here, but I don't know if I should look there or where. But anyways, so it was really beautiful to see that. And what frustrated me the most was like she kept going back and he kept going after her. She kept going back, and I'm like, when are you gonna understand, you know? But it really is, when somebody is hurt to that extent and they don't trust to that extent, it's really, really, really hard. And it's very rare, very, very rare for you to see somebody that will take their time and go after somebody like that over and over again. I mean, honestly, people don't do that. So then I went to, but it was a long story. Like every time you thought that the story was going to end, she went back and then the story just continued. It was crazy. But then, so the movie came out recently, Redeeming Love, and we went as a women's Bible study to watch the movie and see. Now, movie adaptations of books are never the same, okay? So let's start out by saying that. Readers like myself, we like to read the book because we know that the movie will never be even closely to the same, because it's, I mean, hours and hours of reading this versus 1 hour of the movie. I think it's 2 hours long or something like that. It's not the same. It was a beautiful story. The couple was beautiful. It was a beautiful story. They did take some of the events here out of place. I don't want to give spoilers to the movie or the book, but they did take some things out of context, or like out of the timeline that the book talked about. For being a Christian book too, I also was very surprised that there was some cussing in there. I mean, it made sense with the story because, you know, they're that Christians in the story and stuff like that, but it surprised me that there was cussing in the movie. There isn't in the book. And it surprised me how detailed they show like sex scenes and things like that in the movie, whereas in the book it doesn't go into detail like that. I think that they really wanted to show the emotion, portray that in the movie, and it just felt like it was going a little bit too fast. Either the movie needed to be a little longer, or we needed to see a series instead of an actual movie. The movie was good. The actors were really good at acting. They did an amazing job. I think it's worth watching the movie. But if you can, I would really recommend actually reading the story first and then watching the movie, or at any moment reading the story, because a lot is left out. The movie does gotta go out of the timeline, and you just don't see things happening like she meant it to happen. Like there were certain scenes in the movie that they even changed completely, that the book talked about in one way, but in the movie they portrayed it in a different way. So if you I just recommend reading the book first, okay, and then watching the movie. I do recommend watching the movie, but I think I was disappointed. I loved the acting. I think they did an amazing job. I understand movie adaptations and things like that. I was just disappointed. And maybe that's just a personal opinion, but I was disappointed. I prefer the book. I always do, but I don't like when movies change. They change things that happen. Like, you know, if you're going to cut that much out, at least keep to the original story, you know? And I don't understand why they do stuff like that. Like, it really upsets me. And I liked the movie. I prefer the book 10 times more, but and it is a long one. but it was disappointing. So out of 5 stars to the movie, I think I would give it like 3 stars to the movie. I went with high expectations. I was really excited for it, but I don't know. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the movie, but it's really, I recommend checking this out. It's an amazing retelling of Hosea, and just I would love, I don't know if she does this to other Bible studies, or Bible stories. I'm going to check it out because I really want to read more of her books. But yeah, it was a really good retelling for our day and age, kind of, and I would highly recommend it. So I don't know if that made you more confused or more intrigued, but check out the book, check out the movie. I'll link everything down below, and yeah, I will see you guys next time with another video. May God bless you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.